Stop moving!
This message is for all the ICE agents out there today. When Donald Trump's reign of terror is over, we will be rounding you all up and putting you in jail. We're going to raid and destroy your homes. We're going to handcuff you and take you away in front of your families for breaking the Constitution of the United States of America. That's why we hold cameras to your face, so that we can have facial recognition for when Donald Trump's out of office. Because the tables are gonna turn on you. Me personally, I'll fight a fucking ICE agent. There's nothing illegal of that. They are hiding their faces. They could be criminals. I'll take my chances in court. Fuck around and find out. Have a nice day.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, just passed a bill. The House of Representatives just passed a bill that gives the soldiers of the IDF, that's the Israeli Defense Force, you now have Israeli Defense Force foreign military receiving United States military benefits.
This is true,
Wow,
folks.
what he just said, what Joey just said, people here can't even afford health insurance, and now they're giving it to a foreign country, which in my opinion is a fucking enemy. They're the most disgusting, evil country on earth that has attacked the United States multiple times. And you're going to give them benefits? And you're telling me these motherfuckers deserve to live? These politicians deserve to be alive? Get the fuck out of here. They're all fucking traitors and they deserve to all be fucking hung.
Welcome to the X-Ray Podcast. Hey, what an intro, man. I'm telling you, this 2025, 2026, it will be hell. It's going to be crazy.
So crazy.
Already started. And that dude threatening the ICE agents. Man, what a loser.
Yeah,
What a
man. That's
loser. Like, how
that
you going
is-
to do public threat to federal agents and knowingly? Tom Holman said it yesterday. If you put their hands on the ICE agent, man, they're gonna throw the book at you.
Yeah, well, I think this guy is trying to say that once the Democrats get in power, that's what they're gonna do. But
Sure.
I honestly think that that just shows how deranged and the stuff that we were claiming at before. He just said it out loud, and I think no one's fooled. We know this was going on, and this guy is got TDS for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he does. Like, who in the right mind gonna do that in public and post it and thinking, "Oh, I'm exercising my First Amendment right." Like, oh yes, you are, but it has a consequence.
But what a very, very
It's
troubled
pathetic.
individual.
He's pathetic. I mean, I'm just saying out loud, he's pathetic. Like, how you gonna do that? But hopefully, I'm gonna look into it. But most likely, he's gonna get a visit from somebody. Because like making a statement like that, like you're gonna dox ICE agents and you're gonna raid their houses.
Yeah,
You
that
are-
guy.
Yeah, he's done.
That guy's nuts. But hey, did you see the first guy that was running? Oh my gosh. That other car, it almost seemed like the car was not going to stop for the ICE agent. That was just weird to me.
Yeah, that was very weird. That was like insane. Like, I mean, if you see I see ICE agent running, man, I'm stopping. I'm pulling to the curb or to the shoulder, and I'm being like, "Hey, I'm just stopping you," because you never know. But yeah, I mean, he didn't stop until he got aimed at with the gun. He just like aimed. I
Yeah.
don't know, man. It's crazy. And talking about ICE agents, now we have over 80,000 applications for 10,000 positions on the for the border patrol and ICE agents. And I'm glad, hopefully, they open 10,000 more for more agents on the field, chasing bad guys, cleaning the streets. And I hope they open that soon because their incentives are really tempting.
dude. Yeah, dude. I've seen how much they're paying and the benefits. Uh, dude, I would sign up for myself. You know, I mean,
Bro, I was like, should I come out of retirement? Because I
yeah,
was like,
dude. Like it's nuts. I mean, tier two, I think, is like 130, and then I think it's there's a $50,000 bonus to sign
signing
in,
bonus. Basically,
dude.
you get that bonus once you pass the 6 month school. Once you
Of the
graduated,
boot camp, yep.
you know, the little boot camp, and you get assigned to your whatever Sacramento or Arizona, wherever they put you at. And once you report, they're gonna give you that bonus. And I'm telling you, it is tempting. Even though $50,000 sounds like a lot, but in reality, once you take taxes off, which is like 33%, and you probably ended up with at least, I would say 28,000, close to 30,000, roughly. But though it's good money though.
Yeah, it's just a sign in bonus. That doesn't include
That's a good
the
start.
yeah, your salary that you're gonna be making, which
Yeah.
is to me what's crazy. Sorry about that. That's crazy that you know the amount of money. Like if I was young, Julio, I'm telling you, I would be jumping on this. Like
My
uh
wife told me to apply. She said like, hey, you should
she
apply.
said,
I'm like,
"Julio,
oh.
dude,
I mean, like I would do it, but I don't want to. I don't want to hinder my retirement. You know, that's what I told her. Like, you know, I got my retirement and everything, but like, it is worth it. Maybe yes, but while I'm risking losing all the benefits that I have,
oof, yeah, that's not worth it for
no, it's
sure."
not worth it. But I highly consider it. I mean, I was on the website already about to apply, and bro, they fill those applications, they fill those positions. Well, they close it because they have so many. They have 80,000 applicants. They close it like within what, 72, 48 hours.
Dang. Okay. Yeah. That's. But
That
I
was
mean,
fast.
I that's just crazy to me because there, dude. The sign in is
Tempting.
bonus
I'm
is
telling
very
you.
tempting. It's very tempting. Hey,
And
but
you get paid while you are doing your academy. You get paid too, and you get paid good money.
and you know what? Let me ask you this. And I don't mean to take it off that subject, but did you hear what's going on with the Washington D.C.? There is where they're rounding up people, the criminals and stuff, and I saw earlier this morning, and that's what I'm trying to look for. But there's a video of FBI agents, ICE agents, all the federal agents
Oh
walking
yeah.
going
Oh
down.
yeah. Let's go. Let's
Yeah,
go. You got
they're serious about it. And we were talking about that with me and my wife. It's a good thing because think about it. They're gonna tell these people that live in the streets in their little tents and like Skid Row, right? And they're basically telling them, hey, you can't have this here. You need to relocate or do something. If you have nowhere to go, you can go to sign up for a 6 month to a year rehab, and we'll get you sobered up and help you get back on your feet. Or you could go to jail. And I'm like, man, that's good too because they're gonna sober up in jail as well. So they might a lot of them will resist. They'll go to jail. They'll sober up again, and then they'll because right now, uh, I remember I had to restart my TikTok because I got banned and I lost all my you know
man.
yeah, but anyways, well now I have this TikTok that I started over, and because I guess the algorithm doesn't know because I haven't liked the video or anything, so it's given me like a filter of just nonsense. Well, I stumbled across a filter, I mean a video of someone complaining that drugs are expensive, and I'm like, that's good, bro. That just means that there's a shortage. It's working, right?
Good.
I mean,
Good. Good.
pretty soon they're gonna have to make a decision whether I can't afford the drugs no more.
That's good. That's good. That is a shortage. I mean, that's what we pay our ICE agents or Coast Guard. and the interdiction officers to get rid of that stuff. They populate going to the United States and kill all Americans, and that is good. There is a shortage of that, and hopefully it is a shortage of everything. Child trafficking.
Exactly.
Hopefully we get rid of that stuff because we need to get rid of the bad stuff
All
that
that. Yeah,
that
all of that.
corrode our our people. So our next guest, and I'm happy he's here. Let me show some of his accolades. This JJ Carroll coming up next. Right here, you see his page. Follow him. He got a great show every day at 5 p.m. Central Time. He has a great show. He's 24-year veteran at the Border Patrol. Also, he's produced 2 documentaries, and you can also follow him on YouTube. He got his page on YouTube, so you can follow him. Let's welcome JJ Carroll.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Hey,
Hey,
JJ, you're
good,
back.
good.
I missed
Yeah.
you, brother. I missed
Hey,
you.
hey, I love being on your show. I just have one question. The only question I care about. Robert, are you a flat earther yet?
Not yet.
There
Not
you
yet.
go.
Do you,
Already.
and then the second question is, do you think about it every day?
He
I do
probably does.
every day. Yes.
Every day. I swear to you, I do too. I
Yeah.
got Flat Earth Dave sent me a text on something the other day, and I said, bro, I think about this every effing day of my life now. And he just laughed. So you'll get there, Robert. You'll get there with us.
I know.
Yeah,
Hey,
and there's just so much. What I will say is there's so much deception. That's the thing.
yeah,
That's
there
what's
is. Hey, JJ, I want to get your thoughts on these events that happening so fast since last week. Now, the Border Patrol closed the applications for border agents. I mean, they had 10,000 positions open. They received over 80,000 applicants. In your point of view, with expertise in the matter, how do you see this moving forward? Are we going to get more openings for the field agents, or are they going to just do 10,000 and that's it?
Well, they're doing, I think it's 10, I believe it's 10,000 for ICE, and they're doing about five to 8,000 for Border Patrol. So they got inundated. They're thinking outside the box, which I love. They removed the age limit. Now, the age limit not is so when I came in, you had to get a position by the time you were 37 because you did 20 years in mandatory retirement in federal law enforcement because of age and ability to do your job is 57. They moved that to 60 before I retired. They didn't grandfather us in. They just said new hires come in at 40, leave at 60. Now Chrissy Nome has waived the age limit to bring in as many people as possible. I think this is great. This shows you couldn't hire people in the Border Patrol or ICE. No one wanted to do this job under Joe Biden. No, guys were leaving in droves. So, but I want your audience to understand. So let's say that you got 10,000 people for ICE and Border Patrol. Let's just use a round number. And then so you have everybody that's applying cannot meet the qualifications, meaning education, experience, mental, pass the polygraph, background check. So if we're looking at today as the start date, the fastest that you could get a boots on the ground is 18 months. Fast. And I'm talking you're cutting corners, you're making things happen at a pace that's never been seen before. Best case, 18 months. Real case, 2 years. Then you just have some green nugget in the field. They have no idea what the hell they're doing. They don't even know how to fill out their time and attendance sheet. They don't even know where the station is, what roads to go to, what trails that have sensors on, what are the smuggling routes. How do you actually? It's one thing to do a rest technique in a very sterile environment, and then it's another when you're in the middle of the night on the side of the road or on a trail fighting, not just one assailant, 2, 3, 10, 20 people. How do you do that? So it's going to take time to get seasoned, and we like to use the time frame of 3 years. At 3 years, things begin to slow down, and you can understand your job. You know how to do the paperwork. You're not afraid of writing caseworks for criminal referrals. You just know your job. Guys, that's 5 years away.
Yeah.
5 years away. That's why you're seeing this push to, we call it a rehired annuitants. Guys like myself can come back, and I'm not going to move my family back to the border into San Diego or whatever. I'm here. My son is in middle school, going to high school. I'm not going to rip him out of that. So I have put in for ICE, and and I'm just allowing God to if they offer me, which I'm more than qualified, obviously. If they offer me in a position in my area that I live in Middle America, then I will take that as a sign from God to do it. I'm physically capable to do it. I will be that guy. You will be doing videos of me going, I can't believe that guy just picked that person up and threw them into the air and into cuffs. You will see that. And
I will clip that.
And I will promise you, I will be the only ICE guy that you will see with no mask covering. Everyone will know exactly who I am and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I look forward to that opportunity. If it's given to me again, we'll do it. I'm seeing chatter on social media, as you guys see, of guys that are saying, I'm going to attack ICE officers. I'm going to hurt them. Bring it on. Bring it on, my friend. Let's see if you're man enough to take me on. And I'll win that fight every single time. So there are men like me that are coming back to do the job, to supplement until these new hires are seasoned and ready to do the job.
Yeah, let me show you. I think you're referring to this idiot, because that's what I call him, an idiot, a scumbag, or piece of manure. This guy right here,
I mean, look at him. He just looks like an idiot.
he's freaking idiot, and I hate that guy. When I saw, I know he came onto my feed when I was doing search this morning when I woke up, and I will not even play this video. This is worthless. But the way he talked about ICE agents or border patrol, he need to be put in jail. Definitely. That's a guy with low T. He probably wear dress at the middle of the night and playing dress up. Because like, how you gonna do a public threat to a federal agent and get away with it?
Yeah, how do they get away with it? Because words have meanings, right? You threaten me, that then as a law enforcement officer, when I'm standing in front of somebody or I see someone do a video and they say they're going to hurt me and arrest me, I don't have to wait for them to throw a punch or shoot a gun. You've already made that. I have to take you at your word that you're not a liar, that you want to hurt us. So then they need to be arrested. I have dealt with these people my whole entire life, and they have become more they feel more empowered because I can't reach across the screen and punch him in the face. There's no way that guy's going to talk to me like that in my face and in public. There's no way it's going to happen. I've already seen it. Look, you guys are alpha males. We can see it. I'm going to tell you what it's like in the law enforcement world. And Julio, I know you were in the military. I can see the criminals before everyone else. I know who they are. And the way I know who they are, I could just sense it because that's what I did for 24 years. And conversely, those people that are criminals know who I am. They've been dealing in that same world, just on the other side. They know who law enforcement guys are. And I have been in this type of situation where I have acknowledged their existence. I see you. And they look back at me and go, I see you. Okay. We see each other. We know what's going on. I'm out of uniform. They know it. They know I'm going to react a certain way, and I know they're going to. There is an acknowledgement among people of this world. I know that sounds weird or insane, but if you're an accountant and you're dealing with a company X for 24 years, you're going to know them. You're going to know what they look like. You're going to know them outside of work. There's no difference between law enforcement and criminals. We know each other. We can smell each other. We know. And then there's some kind of code, if you will, that when you do something, I'm going to react and I'm going to win that encounter. You may think in your effed up mind that you're going to win. You're not going to win. Now, I will say this. We are seeing the worst of policing in American history right now. We're seeing guys that don't know their job. They don't know their policy. They don't know how to react. And this is what I call the Ferguson effect. This is what's happened from George Floyd, Ferguson, BLM, defund the police, having incompetent DEI hires placed above you, like the chief of police in Washington, D.C. She was a DEI hire. She ran DEI. That was her calling. That's how she rose up in the ranks. So now you have police officers that don't know their job, saw their colleagues put in jail, arrested, sued, and then you layer that on top of incompetent DEI hires. Now you're seeing the worst policing in American history. And it's a shame. And I am ashamed at times when I watch these videos, when I watch police officers give a command 12 different times.
Yep.
What are you waiting for, dude?
Yep.
You give the command one,
leadership.
and then you dominate that person if they don't do what you say. Because why you have shootings, why you have fights, why you have tasings, why you have all that? Because there's no officer presence and no officer determination to go all in. Once you make that move, once you make that pull that someone over and you determine they have to be arrested, there's no half-ass in it, guys. There is, I'm taking you down. I'm taking you down by force. You're making the decision to go quietly, or I'm going to effect this arrest. And that means I have to physically pick you up, jam you into the concrete, road rash. I'm going to, if I have to, and I've done before, if you're fighting me, I will break your wrist in order to get the cuffs on. I will break your shoulders in order to get the cuffs on. You made that decision, not me. And we have to get back to that policing. I think it's coming, but it's going to take time. And there are going to be painful times within America because law enforcement has been emasculated.
And honestly, back to the take of what you said about you knowing the criminals and the criminals know you, it's kind of brings me back to like the difference between the barking dog and the dog that bites. It's like, which one is it? And like that guy, that video that we showed earlier of that guy, he's basically one of those chihuahuas just barking, but doesn't bite. But then the wolves, they know each other from each other,
Yes, we do.
And, so it's like, I understand that. And I honestly think that what you're saying right now is exactly the basics of law enforcement that we need today. Like, we need leadership and authority. And a lot of these officers, I get reminded of that mother in a shopping center where you hear her talking to her son, and she's like, and I'm just going to make up a name, Justin, sit down. And she's like, I don't wanna. Justin, sit down. No, and it's like, you need to be like, hey, sit down now. May your yes mean yes and your no mean no. So when you're like, hey, if you're not going to do it, you're not going to comply, you're asking, like you said, you're asking for this. And we need that in society right now. So we do need officers like that have that authority.
I agree. And I'm not talking about tyrannical, overbearing police officers that are ticketing you for stupid stuff. I'm talking about men that know how to do their job, know the law and policy, and know their directive, right? So when you get deployed and you get assigned to wherever you go, that you know what you have to do. You see a crime, you go adjudicate it, period. You write up your report and you go, and then you go back out in the field. Does that mean that I'm going to go and cause problems in the community? No, I'm here to help. I'm going to, and the bad thing in law enforcement, no matter how you try, no matter how hard you try, you are always reactive. The only thing that stops potential crimes, and you can't quantify crimes that never happen, right? There's no way to quantify it.
Yeah, exactly.
But the only way to see a decrease in crime is to have boots on the ground. And we're seeing that in Washington, D.C. Donald Trump just basically said, screw it. Thousands of officers are walking the street. When thousands of officers or hundreds of officers are walking the street in their battle gear, you're not going to have any crime, guys. It's not, because the criminal knows, I may be a badass, right? You may be a bad dude, but I don't care how bad you are. When that M4 round goes down range and hits you in your chest, where I take my gun out, stick it to your head, and blow your head off, I win, and game over. And that is where, and look, we're not talking about people like me and you. If a police officer comes to my house, I'm going to be cordial. I'm going to respect him. He's going to say to me, you're under arrest. I'm not going to fight him. I'll fight him in court. So yes, here, arrest me. But we're not talking about people like me and you. We're talking about savages. And let's be clear, they are subhuman savages in the inner city and in America in particular, but in the inner city are savages. Why do you see crime rates the way they are? Because we have removed law and order from America. Do you feel safe? Honestly, let's just be very honest. No, I will not allow my wife and son, and I am not a tyrannical dad at all or a husband. I have my kids and wife have freedom, but I told them directly after the shooting in Kansas City, after the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, I said, you are forbidden from going to any major city in America without me. That's it. You're not going. And if I go, I'm armed and I will take care of you. But I cannot allow you to go to inner cities in America and expect you to be okay, because they were within moments of being in that melee where black youth, and let's just be honest, can we just have this conversation and be honest? The vast majority of 13% of the population is committing the vast majority of all violent crime in America. And then you go one step further. It's not just blacks. It's less than 2% of blacks, meaning 16 to 18 to 35-year-old black men are committing over 50% of the murders in America. Do you understand what I'm saying? 2% of 350 million people are killing over 50% of the people in America. We're not talking about the rapes. We're not talking about the assaults. Let's just be honest. And I will be honest, if this was 2, 5, 15%, so 16 to 35-year-old white men, I'm going to throw out a number. I'm going to say 20% of the population. I don't know, something like that. 20%. If 20% of the population were killing 50% of the murders, committing murders, I would be saying, wait a minute. What the F is going on with the white race at that age group? Why are they committing all those crimes? But we for decades have been told, don't say that. You couldn't even say the word black. Black was derogatory. Wait a minute. They are black. I'm white. You're Hispanic, brown, whatever color you want to say. That is who's doing the problem. Why are we like it's in DC? Well, it's racist. Wait a minute. Why is it racist? 42% of the population in DC is committing 90+% of all the crimes. We have to have this racial discussion if we're going to be honest with each other. I'm not afraid to have it. I'm not uncomfortable to have it. I'm just talking statistics and data. That's it. And then we have to have this discussion, or we can continue down this fantasy land that everything's the same and all cultures are the same. Everything's the same. No, it's not, guys. No, it's not. And this is never this situation that we're seeing, this violent black crime wave, mainly black crime against white victims, this isn't always been this way.
Correct.
Black families, black individuals having a 75 to 80% illegitimacy rate in their section of society. That is an anomaly. That's not how it was in the 50s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. It wasn't that way. You now have 25% illegitimacy rate in the 1960s was an epidemic in the black community. Blacks are now 75 to 80%. Do you know Hispanics are now 50% illegitimate rate? Whites are now in the 25% illegitimacy rate that the blacks were in the 1960s, an epidemic. But there's a direct correlation to no fathers, no masculine figure in the black community, and now we have absolute lawlessness and black youth committing heinous crimes against whites, Hispanics, and other blacks at a rate never before seen in American history.
And if we don't talk about it, then we can't fix the solution. And this is what's crazy is that they hide the reasons of why this is going on by implementing you're racist to talk about it. But we need to have this discussion, because then the next question is, well, why are they doing this? What is going on? And obviously some of us can easily see it, right? It's the pop culture in their community of, a real thug, a real gangster, that is what's really amplifying this. And again, if we don't talk about it, we can't change it. It's kind of like one of those things. If I don't admit what's wrong with me, I can't change myself at all. And this is the exact thing. I appreciate that we're even discussing this, because the world needs to know. Yes, we know what the problem is, and we're not afraid to discuss it.
Well, let's go one step further. Let's say, and I will state this clearly: there are more white poor people in America than black poor people. There are millions of destitute white people that are hanging on the lower level of the economic rung, and yet we're not killing each other. We're not killing everyone in our communities. We're not seeking out blacks and killing them. We're not. Hispanics, I would put them as a general, the lower level of the economic.
Correct.
Is there a segment of that population that's thriving? Yeah. I'm just saying this is the reality. I don't see Hispanics going around killing each other at the volume that the blacks are. Then we have to have this discussion. And what I do when I go on my show and I talk about this, I talk about it quite a bit now, because it is the gigantic elephant. And the elephant's not just in the room. The elephant has been taking a dump in the living room for years, and it smells so bad and nobody wants to look at it. But I'm pointing right at it. And what I use to prove my point now is I just almost solely take clips from black influencers and I play them and I let them describe it, because black influencers, people in the black community, are saying, I've had it. I don't want any part of this. This is an abomination to America, but to my race. If this was reversed and I had white men like me doing heinous things to blacks, I'd be the first one saying, hold on a second. This is absurd. I'm going to stop this. As a law enforcement officer, put me on that detail. Put me on that task force that's going to go after those people. But we don't. We've been quiet. And I want to say this. You're seeing, and I know you guys follow this all the time, Nick Fuentes is exploding. He's exploding. Why? Because he represents the absolute marginalized, demonized, castigated white youth from 18 to 30 that have had it. And you are going to see a massive wave of white resentment pour over America. And history shows that is a problem and bad things happen. You can't demonize a group of people and call them vile names for decades and think that nothing's going to happen. You're insane. Yeah. If I did that against Hispanics and said, all Hispanics are bad, they're the problem. In fact, 18 to 30-year-old Hispanic men are the problem. We need to, not only do we need to censor them and cancel them, we're not going to employ them. We're going to put them underneath the corporate hiring. If you go to Joe Biden's time in office, do you know that white men, who are the majority of population, were the last to be hired? I'm talking in the teens. In the teens, we were suppressed. Do you know, if I go to Costco right now as a white man with all of my credentials, being an author, documentary filmmaker, 24 years in law enforcement, in education, everything. Do you know that my application we put on the bottom? Put on the bottom. Why? Because I would have to select white and then male. I would put on the bottom of the hiring because they have DEI hiring practices. Is anyone in America okay with this?
I don't think so. And that's reverse. What do they call it? Reverse racism.
Reverse discrimination and racism. Look, dude, I've had this conversation with my son. My son is a beautiful human being. And I know that I'm biased to a degree, but I'm just being real. My son is a beautiful human being, a very kind alpha male type kid, but very kind. Blonde hair, blue eyes, beautiful light white skin. My son's adopted. He doesn't look like me, so he doesn't get any of my genes. He's just beautiful, right? Yep. Kind, nice. I've had to have conversations with my son that a 1950 black sharecropper had to have it with his son, where I had to have my son and say, listen, Joseph, don't you ever apologize. Don't you ever be ashamed of the color of your skin, the way God created your eyes and your hair, and all the things that are outwardly appearances. You be proud of that. God created you. He molded you into this. I'm having the same conversation that a black man was having with his son in 1950s. It was wrong then, and it is wrong now. How did we get to this point in American history that we're still talking about people's color of their skin? It's rotten to the core.
It is.
You know, the
It
last
is.
thing that I talk, you know, the last thing, this is the honest truth. The very last thing, if someone asked me, tell me about Robert and Julio, do you know one of the last things, maybe wouldn't even be in my description, is they're Hispanic. That's just the way it is. I don't see people that way. I just see, do you think that I want to live next to a white trash neighbor that has car parts in their front yard? Or do you think I want to live next to a black American that keeps his yard immaculate? He's kind to me. He helps me with my garbage when I go out of town, or I help him. What neighbor do you think I want? Do you think I want the white trash? God, no.
No.
No, I want the patriotic American, hoping that he's a Christian and he's kind and nice. Period. This idea that everything is race-based is a propaganda lie. But we are in this world now that we have to speak truth. We have to be honest. As Robert, you said, if I don't point out the problem, how am I going to create a solution? I'm not.
Yep. And you know, I'm sorry, Julio, but for the people that are, I guess, against this, see, the people that are promoting this division or the reverse racism, they wouldn't say this because they want this problem to continue because they're making money out of it. And this is what we're basically talking against, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, since I was a little kid, I was taught about, treat everybody with respect, no matter, white, black, yellow, whatever color it is. But nowadays, when I go out, I'm Hispanic and I have an accent, whatever, and they figure out like I'm Hispanic, and I'm okay with it. I'm not offended. And so people are offended because you call them black. I mean, like, what do you want me to call you? If you're black, like, what do you want me to call you? Like low melanin skin type of person?
Mm-hmm.
And people get upset, and I'm like, you know what? I'm do what I do best. It just take care of my family. That's what I do. And I follow your same footstep, JJ, about letting my wife going out by herself. I used to about a year ago, she go to Marshalls, big box stores, whatever, by herself. Nowadays, stuff happening in Houston. I told my wife like, baby, I love you. You have your own autonomy, but if you go into the mall, I'm going with you. Even though I don't like it, I'm going with you. And she said, why? Because it's a lot of stuff happening. A lot of carjacking happenings on parking lot, and you see it in Los Angeles, Costco, a shootout in the parking lot. Target, a shootout in the parking lot. So I told my wife, like, baby, I'm going with you, and I'm taking my piece with me, and I'm taking my rifle with me. So because I don't know what's going to happen, and I will not let my wife be one of the statistics of the crime incident, not in Texas, but all over the states. And that coming to my next question for you, JJ. We have seen shootouts every day, mass shooting since last Monday. In fact, since last Manhattan shooting, it is happening one a day. And police officer has died. With in Atlanta, in Philadelphia, a police officer got shot. What is going on? Because they were quickly to call the Manhattan shooter a possibly white person when he obviously wasn't. But the guy in Atlanta in Fort Stewart base, he didn't call his skin color. He didn't say nothing about it.
No.
But he was black.
Well, why is this
happening?
happening? Well, I think it's a combination of things. First, I think we are a secular nation. We have no God anymore. We've removed God from everything. We have succumbed to the everyone is equal, everyone needs a fair chance, and I'm going to bring people up into positions of authority that do not have the qualifications because we don't want a white person. And then the more sexually perverse you are, and if you are a minority, then that's a win. And if you're a woman, we'll definitely bring you up. So you're asking, how do we get to this point where we have mass shootings? Well, when you have a nation that's built on law and order, and then you remove the police officers, we are now at 660,000 police officers and decreasing daily. That's police officers, federal, state, and local. I think at the height we had 1.4 million. Okay, wow. 1.4 million, and we're in the 600,000s. So now we don't have the presence. Then you look at the chiefs of police. Let's look at three that have stood out, right? You have the old grandma in New Orleans. She should be baking brownies. She's a DEI hire as a woman. She looks like a lesbian. She looks like she's 900 years old, weighs about 93 pounds. She should not be in charge of 500 to 1,000 alpha male law enforcement officers. Look at Cincinnati, another fat, grossly looking lesbian woman who's in charge of the police force. Why? She's incompetent. She didn't deserve that title of police chief. Now we look at Metropolitan Police Department in Washington, D.C., a black lesbian DEI hire. I'm telling you guys, and Julio, you know this by being in the military, you can put all of the stuff on their collar. You can call them whatever you want to call them. But if I know that you don't belong there, and I know that you have not done the job, I will not respect you. I will follow the orders to the minimum. I will not follow them to the maximum. And that's the deal. You bring someone up, a black lesbian DEI hire, or a grandma that is a DEI hire. Those alpha men that are underneath them, they're not going to respond to their leadership because they have none. They've never done the job. So now that adds to the Ferguson effect. We have been DEI'd to death, guys. I would never work for those stupid bitches. There's no way I would. And I don't care how that sounds. I don't care if you call me, well, you shouldn't curse and you shouldn't talk about women that way. Are you out of your effing mind? When you're getting raped or your family's getting shot at or you're getting carjacked, do you want someone like me or do you want some DEI hire being there?
No.
Let's answer it, right? You want an alpha male that's going to come there, that knows how to do his job, that is big and strong, and that's going to handle business. That's what you want. That's how you keep society safe. That's how you have law and order. That's how you have stable society. How you don't have stable society is you put women in charge of men. You put lesbians with sexually perverse problems, mental illness in charge of men. You take people that have never done the job and you put them in positions of authority and power. And that is how you have shootings every day. That's how you have lawlessness. That's why, because you remove the alpha male from the head of the pack and you put somebody that is functionally retarded, has low IQ, and that has no reason in the world to be in that position. None. And that is why you have what you have, Julio.
Yeah, that's true. And moving up to the next subject, I mean, dual citizenship.
This is my topic.
JJ,
why, Julio? Why do you do this? Why do you do this?
I have to, JJ. I have to. I mean, when you came to my studio and we did that interview back in April, March, you opened my eyes to what is really going on in this politics and government, because I didn't know. I was naive. I didn't know. I was always, when I was in the military, I was always apolitical. I just do my job, serve under whatever president that was the commander in chief, period. Never get into politics. 2016, 2015, that's when I started getting into politics and learning learning a little bit of it. But now, since I'm full time doing podcasts, through you, I learned that we have not only one problem, we have several. And in the military, we call it asymmetric warfare. And the way I see it is we've been attacked through uh, different, like we call it the color war, because we have the Black Lives Matter, we have the Rainbow Army out there doing their things, and we have racism because everything the white people do is racist. I mean, if we just walk down the streets, racist. If we say, I don't like Disneyland, racist. I mean, it is an asymmetric warfare against the white male in America. That's the way I see it. Not only the white male, the white in the white family, the white structure, because most of my friends, believe it or not, are white people. And people say, why majority of your friends are white people? Because are their belief aligns to my belief. I'm conservative. I like family. I don't like the XX and XX family. I like the XX and XY family, which is normal. And I follow the Bible as much as I can as a human. I'm not perfect, but I try to do my best at it. And this is the war that we're fighting. We're not fighting for our freedom. We're fighting for the existence. I believe the white people are in a battle. But talking about dual citizenship, man, I didn't know this was bad. Like London already fall. I mean, we have so many mayors that are Muslim. They're
Hmm.
not from there. They're not native,
Nope.
and they have like 7 mayors already throughout the whole London area and Paris. And now we move into United States in Minnesota. You know
Man,
where?
Well, let's
Let me
look.
show you this video. Let me show you
Okay.
this video before I take your point, JJ. You probably seen this video before. Let me bring it up to you. And this is my point.
Resonate what we have here in the United States, the democracy that we have. How can you help us, be a better country and build back what we used to have back in long time ago? So hopefully we will be able to help our country, our former country, Somalia.
Okay, so Maine, which is one of the whitest cities in America, one of the whitest states in America, has elected its first Somali mayor, who, number one, barely seems to have a grasp on the English language, and number two, doesn't talk about anything in America. She just talks about Somalia. So my question is, as always, why are there so many people that are being put in elected leadership positions in this country that come from other countries?
yeah.
Why is this happening over and over and over again in the United States of America, in Maine, in literally one of the whitest states in this country? So if Maine, which is literally one of the whitest states in this country, if they decide that basically, there's nobody qualified more than some Somalian to be mayor of
What a
a
mess.
city there, I got to tell you, Americans, you got to get it together. All right. And if you're going to have these people, like, at least have people from other countries that love this one. This is completely insane. And I'm tired of seeing it.
What a mess, man. This gives me a headache, dude.
I know. I'm
You-
telling you, this is a big trouble.
Well, that man, that the commentator was absolutely right, and I want to lay the blame where the blame needs to be laid. The vast majority of Americans are white, and the group of people that are pushing the most insane DEI, all of this are white people. We have been infected with some bullshit white guilt where we've been told we're the problem and we have to rectify it by punishing ourselves. I don't subscribe to that, obviously. Now, you talk about local politics. Local politics is being decimated by people like that. You think that lady has more than an 8th grade education? There's no way. You think that
No.
she shares our Christian values? No, she doesn't. Now, when you start talking about dual citizenship, you and I talked about this and it went viral like 2-3 times, Julio, that somebody grabbed our clip when we were talking about Ilhan Omar, a naturalized citizen from Somalia that has openly spoken in English and that gutter dialect of Somalia, talking about how she is here to do everything she can to better Somalia, not Somalian Americans, Somalians in the country of Somalia. And we allow these people to be in positions of power. Now, Julio, I don't know if you and I spoke, my time gets kind of jumbled up. It was before or after I went testified in front of Congress. And there is a congresswoman named Delia Ramirez. She openly admitted in Congress when she was chastising me that she was an illegal alien from Guatemala. We have an illegal alien from
Oh my
Guatemala
gosh.
in our houses of Congress. She's married to an illegal alien. Last week, she was down at a Hispanic Latin American conference in Mexico City in DF, and she said in Spanish, quote, "I am a proud Guatemalan before I am a proud American." And she is on the Homeland Security Committee. We have allowed, this is not even, I don't even think this is a great analogy anymore because it's even worse. We've allowed the wolf inside of our home.
That's what I was gonna suggest, man. And not just there's multiple wolves. I mean, that lady. Did you hear that lady? She basically said, "My country." Oh, I'm sorry, my former country.
Yeah.
Like, dude. Oh my gosh, people. It's giving me a headache because there's just so many people that are that. I'm just gonna say it, dumb that they elected these people, and they're clearly not American citizenship. And then two, the government officials should not have dual citizenship.
No, they
That is
shouldn't. Do
just-
you know that every time a bill comes up in Congress that says that you have to announce, you have to disclaim what your citizenship is, they won't do
Yeah.
it. Do you know? And okay, let's go down this road because I think it's very important. What nation has the most dual citizens in our houses of Congress and Senate?
Israel.
Israel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
Now, do you see a problem with that? I see a problem with
Yes,
that.
I
I see a
do.
huge problem.
Are
Oh,
you-
by the way-
and I know you men are Christians, so I'm going to ask you a question. And I have a very strong opinion on this, and we have been propagandized and lied to by our preachers. How is a nation that despises our Savior, that spits on Christians, that run us out, that lend money to everyone at a cost except their own people, the only nation that drags us into wars? How in God's name is that our greatest ally? Explain that
Yep.
to me.
Well,
It's not.
JJ,
It's not.
let me give you a quick facts over here. I did my research this morning, and I asked Brock, right, how much money have we sent to Israel lately? $310 billion
Yep.
in aid. And I asked in return, okay, so how much money Israel has sent to the United States? Bro, let me tell you, it was thinking for a minute. Zero.
Yep.
Nothing. Israel have not sent $1 to United States.
Listen,
single
guys,
dollar.
this is the problem, and no one wants to talk about it. Our government has a Trojan horse came in, a virus, and has taken over our state, local, and federal government. We have people that have no allegiance to America. They have allegiance to foreign country. And then you have to look at that and say there's a direct correlation between that and the mass chaos that's happened in America. How do you send $300 billion to Israel? They're a first world country. Why are we sending aid? Because our politicians are bought off. Israel runs our government. It does.
Well, and it's kind of hard. Look, so I was one of the people, and Julio will understand that. And I didn't want to be anti-Semitic. I thought, that's what it was. But now diving into all this information and seeing how many bureaucrats, government officials have dual citizenship to Israel.
Yep.
So they're no longer in our interest. They're in Israel's interest. And so it's like for all those people that think we're kind of anti-Semitic or whatever, we're not, because replace the country to any country that you're afraid of, China, Russia, whatever, or it's an issue. Even if it's a friendly, it's an issue that they have that there's that many dual citizenship, and
Right here.
it is
This is the
just
list.
crazy.
It's crazy.
It's so many of them. But see, these are just like the mainstream ones. We're not talking about, like, remember that clip that showed it was a town hall meeting. They were discussing about COVID policies, and this one guy goes up there and starts naming names of all the COVID officials, all dual citizenship. So what does that tell you? If we knew COVID was an attack from an entity, China, right? And they rigged the election, and then Israel's all involved in that, they're not our friends. They colluded with China to make sure our president wouldn't get elected. And I don't know, man. It's just what a mess, dude.
Yeah.
What a mess.
I was talking to Robert the other day, and I told him, like, United States, it has become the world, everybody's slave. And I call it the United Slave of America. Because Israel has come to United States, and give me real quick, OnlyFans owner, CEO, Jewish. What is a rabbi that sells dildo with his daughter?
Rabbi Shmuley.
Mully. That's another Jewish. And we have, like, politicians. We have people in power on BlackRock. We have what is the other one? Pharma. Most of them are Jewish. They are the Trojan horse that came and invaded us. They robbing us blind. They giving money to everybody else. but nobody giving money to the United States, and that's what pisses me off. We need to get we need to kick him out of the country. I'm telling you,
Well, and
we need to break everything down, rebuild it back up, and just only allow Americans with just one citizenship, the U.S.
and J
citizenship, and nothing
and
else.
JJ, I just wanna bring this up. This is another one of those examples that you bring up that if we don't talk about the problem, it doesn't get
Yeah.
fixed.
No.
And what I'm afraid, this is what I'm afraid that history is going to repeat itself because
Yep.
because technology right now is exposing all this stuff, right?
Yep.
It's exposing all this stuff. So all these people are going to know, and our politicians, if they don't do anything about it, they're going to build this stigma because the people are not dumb. And history has shown us with Germany that they're going to have this hatred against a certain group of individuals because they're doing what they did in Germany. And then it's going to be repeated itself. There's really going to be a big wave of assuming, of course, they're really not but anyway, that's another conversation.
No,
But
I agree with that, and I have to go, but I want to say this one thing. I like to play the critical thinking of let's get out of present and let's look to the future. Meaning, let's look 4 or 5 steps. If this continues, if Israel continues to dominate our foreign policy and our domestic policy, and a small group of people of a Jewish, it doesn't matter, but right now it's Jewish, a small group of Jews control everything. Media, sports, entertainment, politics, you name it. There is going to be a problem. The demonization of white Americans, the balkanization of our nation through race, sex, ethnicity, it is going to come to a head where people are going to want to rectify. And I'm going to tell you, if we do not correct this, if we don't remove the 50 million illegal aliens, if we don't have one citizenship in our houses of Congress and in our politics, we will have a bloody revolution. You don't have to like it, what I'm saying. There will be a kinetic revolution of some sort, and it will be violence you have never, ever seen in your life. And it will and I'll tell you why, and I'll end on this. The reason why it'll be so violent is because you took men like us and you forced us into the fight. And when you forced us into the fight, we didn't want to. We were happy with our lives. We're happy but you burnt my house down. You killed my family. Now, I have nothing to lose. And I am so angry. And I'm going to do things to you that I didn't even know existed and allowed to have me do that to you. I'm going to inflict pain and violence on you that you can't even imagine. And I'm going to have no remorse. And when I'm done with you, I'm going to the next person and I'm going to the next person. This is not guessing. This is called history. History proves that this happens. Guys, I could talk to you guys all day long, but I will stop because Robert's not a flat earther yet, and I have to go talk to other flat earthers.
All right,
Guys,
JJ,
thank you so
thank you
much,
for coming
guys.
to our show. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. God bless you,
Yep.
Absolutely.
brother.
God bless you too. Thank you, guys.
All right, bye-bye. All right, there you have it. That's our friend JJ. I mean, his insights is always incredible. I mean, like we have so many clips to cut from that show, and I really appreciate it. But man, like he is right. I mean, we are going back to Germany. I feel like we're going back to Germany to the 1930s. You know, like all this stuff is like repeating itself, and I'm wondering how many times it's gonna keep happening because it happening not and before Germany. I had to look it up. Before Germany, it was I think Egypt
well,
or something.
yeah, I think it was okay. So remember,
They got kicked
the
out. The Jews
Romans
got
took
kicked out.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Romans took over, and they were doing basically the same thing
Yep.
with Rome, and then they went to
They
Russia. So
broke.
they're doing the same thing in
They
Russia.
broke Rome.
Yeah, dude, and I keep doing this because it's a mess, dude. Like,
It
and
is a
for
mess.
everybody, I again, I'm just bringing this up again because remove the dual citizenship
Mhm.
to that country and put whatever country you want to put, Russia, China. Like, would you feel comfortable, whoever you find you're afraid of, right? If there's some people that are like, China is the big issue. Okay, well, now imagine 70% of your politicians and government officials and bureaucrats are Chinese dual citizenship. Like, and you're afraid of China. Well, that's bad. Now, even if it was a friend, like Israel is a friend, right? I think we want to call them a friend or whatever. I mean, they shouldn't be. I'm sorry, as a politician or as a government official, even in law enforcement, I'm sorry, you can't have dual citizenship. That should be a number one thing. You have to be American, naturalized, born USA citizenship. In fact, I will go as to say second generation, not first generation, second generation, because I'm first generation, meaning my parents were from another country and I was born here. So my kids could be government officials. Because I honestly, that just, to me, that just needs to be the set grounding rules to have America. Because, dude, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just,
in fact, just to get people clarification, we're not calling for an absolute of violence right now. We are talking about is history repeating itself, and basically we are forecasting what might happen in the future if we just keep going. Because people do not understand this is serious. Like people are opening their eyes and they see in the common denominator. Yeah, we see it. It's always been in our face. It is that spiteful so-called friend that basically it is leeching onto us, draining our resources, stealing our money, and but in the back end, they are the first one who stabs us in the back.
and and again, I also would like to speak to the audience and say this, that, and or not just the audience, if this ever reaches some politician out there or someone that has obviously a louder voice than us, right? But we're not calling, like Julio said, any type of violence or anything. What we're warning is this: eventually, just like us, we were not we would be like, hey, I don't want to talk about that because that's anti-Semitic. At least my end, I would be like, dude, come on, the Jews are the chosen people of God and this and that because of ignorance, right? But then now that I'm able to dive in and read all this stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh. So what I'm saying is, for all you politicians out there, that if you see this, don't look at this and be like, we don't have to worry about that, because the masses are going to find out, and we're finding out now. And again, if by you not addressing it might cause a problem that will bring anger to the masses, and we might have history repeat itself. So to avoid that, let's talk about it now and do something about it, because if we don't, it's gonna
get ugly.
it's gonna repeat itself, and we're trying to be better, right? And we claim that we're better than the previous and past because we have that information, and doubling down is not going to be good, because it might be worse. So.
Yeah, it's like a you have an issue and you're just like forgetting about it, not taking action on it, and it's gonna bite you in the ass later on. And like I was talking to JJ and you about asymmetric warfare. I mean, we're being attacked from different angles. I mean, like from BLM, from school, they infiltrated our sports, entertainment, politics, pharma, food industry. They are everywhere, and we've been attacked. Like being white now is like it's like a sin. If you're white, you're doomed. They calling you racist. They calling you bigot. They calling you white supremacist. And this is a guy of from Liberal Slurs. And this sound is funny, but at the end, that's how that's how you incite. It's like basically they poking the bear. You know what I mean?
Honestly, Julio, this is an example of the liberal not realizing what damage they're doing, because you know what happens when you misuse a word and you use it over and over and over? They say it gets cheap, which means it doesn't mean anything no more. And then when shit hits the fan and it's starting to repeat history, these words are not going to mean something to the lesser generation because they don't know what it means because it's cheap. It's you've destroyed that word.
They
And
overused it.
again, these are all bad red flags basically. And that's what I hope people gather from this, is that it's red flags. We need to do something. We need, like, honestly, we need legislation to prevent people that have dual citizenship from any country,
Yeah.
regardless
And,
if it's Mexico, Salvador, Israel,
yeah,
whatever.
it doesn't matter. Like, also, we need legislation of the people need to vote whenever dollar amount is going out of the United States. It cannot be. They cannot pass legislation unless we vote on it.
Yeah.
I know the system. We vote for representative, for congressmen and senators. I know that, but for any amount of money, it has to go through a type of system that we as constituents are able to say, no, we don't like it. We don't
Well,
want that money going out because they're sending money in from every fucking week. Every fucking week, money's going out, and like, oh, we're not sending money to Ukraine, and then 2 weeks later, we find out, oh, we just sent 20 billion last night to Ukraine, and we
yeah,
like,
through NGOs, and that's the thing. Something needs
we
to
need
happen,
to,
bro.
we need to stop. Like, I mean, if we send the money out, we need to double the amount to keep money in. Like, we need to help veterans. We need to help homeless people. We need to help drug addicts on the street and put into a system that actually work and not doing NGOs. Because NGOs, they just put 2% of whatever they're receiving out, and they're keeping 98% of payroll. So that doesn't work. In fact, they need to get rid of any nonprofits. Like, no, you're not allowed to
Yeah.
open a nonprofit. It's done. Because if they use it to money laundering, it defeats the purpose. We throw money
Yeah.
away.
Like nonprofits shouldn't have
They should
houses, cars,
no nothing.
because that's how these, and this is why I was telling somebody the other day, this is why the rich are out there chanting with these
Yeah.
leftists, tax the rich, because they own like a nonprofit and their house is probably under bought by the nonprofit. And since it's
They don't pay taxes
nonprofit,
on it.
exactly, dude. So it's
They
just
use
like,
it.
what a
The
mess, dude.
nonprofits
Oh
equal
man.
money laundering.
And that's why they're like, man, we're needing more money. Let me get with McDonald's. Hey, ask these people if they want to donate to this
Yeah,
charity, which,
bro. Let me tell you
dude.
this, brother. Let me tell you this
Mm-mm.
before we close. When people ask for nonprofits, and I see the nonprofits, you could go online and see the money amount they receive every year, or whatever. Because I have to file a report. They're making millions. Why are they asking for more money? Why they, like you
Well,
see,
it's the overhead, I
yeah,
mean, it
when you
costs
see,
money to run this organization.
yeah, when you see actors like I would mention one or two, like Dwayne Johnson, like
George
he's
Clooney.
just Clooney, they have millions upon millions, and they're asking for our, contribution. I mean,
Oh, The Rock or
like,
Oprah
where you gonna
Winfrey.
keep your money? Like, you
Bro,
could,
Oprah Winfrey, she over there
so
giving houses in her shows. Everyone's getting a house. You're getting a house.
you get in the house, everybody get in the house, you get in the house, but at the end of the day, they're asking for our money. Like, why you gonna put your own money? Why you gonna put 500,000, which is probably some change for you? You can put it on your taxes for credit as a charity. Why are you asking for my money? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not giving no money for politicians. I will not give any money for uh, private entities or NGOs. You will not
Yeah.
get a dime from my pocket.
But when you ask that question, and this is why I'm just gonna just say this because it just came to my mind, but a lot of people don't understand this. So if you were to go to Oprah Winfrey, she's gonna flat out tell you the truth and say, I'm not collecting any of that money, which is true. She's technically not collecting out of the money. Her organization is getting paid through another organization and another organization, and she's using funds to buy, like, she's like, man, I want a new Range Rover just for the weekend for my, I don't know, Malibu house. So she'll use that foundation to buy a corporate car for the foundation of whatever, let's just
Yeah.
call it Save the Children Foundation or whatever, and she'll drive that car, and in the books it's going to say, well, one of the administrators needed to use this car, and so we had to purchase it. And so
That's how they clean their money.
so technically she's going to be telling you the truth. I'm not
Yeah.
using any of that. It has nothing
That's
to do with
that's crazy. Like they using the law and they telling people, oh, like you were saying, tax the rich, but at the end,
it.
they are the rich and they're not paying tax.
Yeah,
You
they're
know,
over there with the signs and the pitchforks. Yeah, tax the rich, and all these poor
people are
people that
fucking
are
stupid.
uneducated.
That's the
They're
problem.
like, yeah, Oprah Winfrey cares about me. You know what I mean?
I
And
know.
they say we're the brainwashed ones, though. You know what a mess.
Yeah, man, I'm telling
Oh
you,
man, dude.
this is going to end up in a disaster. And we're heading that way without brakes. Like I feel like we're going down the hill, down the slide with baby oil, beauty baby oil. We're going so fast, we cannot stop it.
No.
So you know what? I'm glad we have a couple people like JJ Carroll, like Nick Fuentes, and so many others that they are willing to put their livelihood on the line to speak the truth, regardless of the outcome. There's not that
Yeah.
many people, man. I'm telling you, there is not that many people out there. So if I'm
Mm.
getting canceled tomorrow, so be it. I'll open a new page and keep moving forward. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
I mean,
It won't
honestly,
face me.
they can try to silence us all day, every day, but the truth of the matter is you can't stop
You can
the
stop
truth.
this.
The
Right.
truth will always come out.
Yep.
I mean,
Eh,
it's just, it might take some time and it might take some blood, sweat, and tears, but
It's coming out
the
fast,
truth
man.
always comes out.
The truth is coming out fast, and people don't know what to do. That's why.
But this is why Obama wanted net neutrality. He wanted to take over the internet to stop this,
Yeah,
to stop what we're doing.
yeah. He tried that in 2013, 2012. He was
Yep.
like advocating for that piece.
That was
And
what
live.
sealed the deal for me to leave the Democratic Party.
Yeah, yeah. Me too. I was on the fence until he came up with like men's in the bathroom. I was like, oh hell no. That's it, brother. That's it.
Mm-mm-mm.
So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. If you're kind enough, please like and subscribe to our channels. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. Also, we are in iTunes, and you can also find us in iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, as the X-Ray Podcast. You can follow us there. Thank you so much, Robert. Appreciate you're busy like always. Big shout out to my co-host. Woo! So I see you guys on the next one. Take care. God bless.